Greetings, sending you also warm, positive vibrations. You can turn on the mic. So I am just sitting here enjoying a mango, and I swear, I always say that the fruits and vegetables and the garden are talking to you. They're having a communication with you. And sometimes in those quiet moments, I find there are such moments of clarity. So here I'm just slurping on the mango, some of the last mangoes of the season, and I get a little message from the mango. So if you don't mind me putting fruits and vegetables on my face, because I'm going to do it anyway, and we always talk about fruits and vegetables and movement, that's what I do on this channel, which is Body-Culinary, personal trainer, chef, mother, natural-born woman. On this channel, I share my journey of radical self-acceptance, encouragement, and motivation to start a garden, to cultivate, reactivate a personal movement practice, as well as encouragement to engage and consume peacefully. Peaceful consumption to your womb, your brain, your reproductive organs, and, celebrate however you pop that onto this 3D plane. So that's the kind of content I'm sharing here. So today, I'm biting into a mango, and just a little nugget of wisdom, because little nuggets of wisdom, they can serve you well into the future. They serve you for years to come. So they're all different types. There's so many different types of avocados. It's avocado season. So many different types of mangoes. So many different types of pineapples. So right now, greetings. I'm really enjoying the last mangoes of the season. So I'll feel for the mangoes. I know how to look at different fruits. A lot of them are organic, and I know, if there are little holes in them, I know that sometimes the maggots got in there first, and that's natural when it's organic. It's a bunch of mangoes, and birds are eating and biting on. Everybody's getting their share. So I just thought of this little this lesson, and I love visuals and things that are very tactile. So I'm slurping on this mango. Now I have learned, as juicy, as delicious as food is, sometimes we're just biting into the food and not looking. But I know, don't do that. Be mindful, be aware, because you can bite into a nice little size of protein maggot. So as I'm cutting into the mango, this mango here is a nice size one, and I find this. I don't know if I can put this in the camera, right? So that means I know when I see little holes, and sometimes you might miss the little holes, right? Because sometimes you can have a perfectly good mango depending on the type, and you have little spots on it. And so this mango is looking fantastic on the outside, but I know that's a home for El Magadito. So hopefully you're not grossed out or triggered by nature, right? Because I know some of us are so sterilized, and we think the garden is fashion, but there's all kinds of creatures and wildlife. I call it nature's church. It's a lot going on in there. And so, this just got me to thinking that things come in really beautiful, pretty packages. The mango has its own perfume. It had a beautiful package. But vetting process, right? Shout out to all of my my community nieces and some nephews and stuff out there, my young folks, and even some of my peers maybe. Things come in beautiful package. Where's your vetting process, right? So I've mentioned a vetting process. When I was coming up, I didn't know what a vetting process was. It's a litmus test. Do you run things past your litmus test? And I love principles, because you can depend on principles more than me. You can depend. Instead of people, I found it more effective to rely on a principle, right? That way you don't have to worry about getting scammed and manipulated, right? If you stay to the principle. So the principle is a vetting process. That's for people before you let anybody into your psyche, your pocketbook, or your panties. You would want to engage. It would benefit you highly to have a vetting process. That means you ask questions. You are investigative. You're not blindsided. You press pause on your lusts and your emotions, or even being so enamored with people's packaging. You like their locks. You like their lingo. You like that they're vegan. You like that they're a boxer. You like that they're a singer. You like their makeup. You don't know these people, and things have fantastic looking packages. But upon cutting this one open, and today I just happened to use a knife. A lot of times I just bite into the mango, right? And if I wasn't paying attention, I would have got a nice mouthful of magadito, right? Not horrible. I can spit it out, but just think about that as an analogy for life. When you don't have a vetting process, when you don't cross-reference, when you don't wash the fruit off. Some of us are rushing, and sometimes folks laugh at me. I usually have a little bag with a cloth napkin and some water, because I know if I'm out in the street and I come across some really nice fruit or some produce, I want to rinse it off, because sometimes the little teeny tiny eggs in there, stuff that you can't see. Stuff that you can't see. All of my flowers and waist training. Things come in a beautiful six package. Six package. Nice skin. They might have some sweet smelling perfume, some nice gift of gab. What's up, boo? You know, if you saw the Illest Nana video, Illest Nana syndrome, the video on this channel. Things come to you, they look so nice, and we're enamored by all these videos by the nice stuff, right? But with some common sense, with some wisdom that you can't Google, you may get some information. That's not the same thing as a frame of reference. That's not the same thing as experience. Experience will trump information. Information is good, but in the wrong hands, right? It's like having a loaded gun and reading instructions and you don't really have a frame of reference and you can really off yourself with someone else. But if we apply this to food, we can apply vetting process to food. Before you put something that looks fantastic in your mouth, did you wash it? Did you check it? Do you pay attention to who you're getting it from and who's handling your food? This applies the same principle to people. We can be so enamored by presentations. We're in a day and time of presentation rules. People come to you with properly prepared and edited speeches in a really nice Brooks Brothers suit or a fantastic outfit from whatever the design of the day is, and you melt because they had somebody do an opening speech, or your favorite singer came in and did the Super Bowl dance or whatever, and you drop your defenses and you drop if you ever had a vetting process. You don't ask questions. People name drop and they tell, oh, I know your mother. Oh, didn't we belong in the same neighborhood or whatever? We went to school together. And you drop your vetting process. You suspend your vetting process. You don't ask questions. Sometimes we don't ask uncomfortable questions because we want to be a lady and we don't want to be rude, or we'll be in an elevator or someplace and you feel uncomfortable. Or it could even be with a doctor or someone in a position of quote unquote authority, or perhaps even an esteemed elder. And you don't want to be rude. So you don't ask questions or you don't speak up and assert yourself when you feel uncomfortable. You suspend your vetting process. So, I'm not going to tell grown folks what to do, but it would not behoove you to suspend your vetting process for anyone, especially in the times that we're in. How can you tell who or what you're talking to at any given moment, especially if you don't have a frame of reference? How can you tell people's agendas and their motivations for you, whether they're peddling you products or whether they're looking to extract something from you? Perhaps without really thinking of your well-being, perhaps without really giving a Rudy toot about your emotional or your mental state, or your priorities with your finances. We're in an age where folks will take. Are you protecting yourself? Today, we're made to think that it's not feminine to be assertive and to protect yourself. I can tell you my humble observation and experience, bam! You can make some errors in judgment that will cost you 30, 40 years of your life, and something that you can't get rid of, or some unplanned human beings who can potentially be some narcissists because they weren't planned for properly. A vetting process. Things come to you in a beautiful package. It could be full of worms, and those maggots get in your belly. Then you got to go through all kinds of stuff to get them out. Prevention is better than cure. So your vetting process, you cross-reference. You don't just go by somebody's sweet words. This is not the time to go by people's sweet words. You will lull yourself to sleep, and then you have to live with the consequences. So that was an excellent piece of wisdom, right? Because sometimes we can learn in stories and definitely in visuals and pictures. Beautiful mango, sweet-smelling mango, and got wormy worms in it. Are you applying that vetting process, male or female, to the people that you allow to enter and have access to your sacred orifices, to your bank account, access to your children, coming in a nice package and full of worms? I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that right there. That's a principle, a vetting process. Check, double check, wash, ask questions, double check frames of reference, background checks, credit checks, because you're worth it. You are worth a vetting process for anyone you let into your cipher, anyone you give access to what is most precious to you. Because if you allow access to what is precious to you and you put it in the hands of those who don't have care and who have not demonstrated consistently over time a commitment to your well-being and your protection, if there's no investment, then why would you give away your mental stability, your emotional stability, the energy that you could be using to focus, because we get way off focus with some trauma and some bad decisions, right? So just a piece of wisdom from some life experience, and here's some present, right? Because sometimes you can't relate. Some of y'all can't relate to the stories of old. So this is a fresh new mango, beautiful packaging, full of worms. This is people. This can be organizations. This could be religious groups. Sometimes we don't want to ask the uncomfortable questions because we want to hold on to the ideal. And we're too fast to bite into the fruit. Take your time and wash the fruit off. Take your time. Don't be such in a rush, because trouble is easy to get into. And as my mama said, hard to get out of. So some of my folks on this channel, I'm not, let's say they like me sharing a little bit of my nuggets. I love the nuggets that have been shared with me are serving me to this day. They have helped me to train my eye. I've still made some errors in judgment, but for the most part, I'll be like, what was it my grandma Lou said again? Right? And then I got a little picture. I got a nice visual of a beautiful mango. It wasn't the whole mango. It wasn't the whole mango. It wasn't the whole thing. I could cut off. Greetings, love one way. It wasn't the whole mango. Beautiful mango. Worms on the inside. Your vetting process. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Why do we think because we're more seasoned and mature that we all of a sudden suspend our vetting process? Why would you think if you're a woman, you suspend your vetting process? Why don't men have a vetting process? Why are you not reading ingredients and cross-referencing? Why are you trusting like they're blind? Don't do that. But I'm not here to tell grown folks what to do. So that's a little bit of flower focus. Hopefully you take that and run with it. If you're interested in any of the events I'm going to be doing more privately that are not on YouTube, in terms of workshops around getting to the bottom of what's eating you or overeating, mindless consumption, mindless eating, for support, which I'm very big on support, especially if you're looking to really revamp your consumption patterns, right? And to come out of the cognitive dissonance, right? Which it doesn't make us bad or wrong. Many of us are in cognitive dissonance, are not really present in our body. There's a disconnect between what we know, the knowledge of what we know to eat, and what we're actually doing, right? A lot of us are not present. We're somewhere else. We're triggered, right? So there's a lot of support to be had in some of the events and workshops. So some of them are going to be focused around mindless consumption. Some of them coming up are going to be focused around rest. And many of us are not resting. We're so wound up that we are not going to bed and resting. And even if you're eating all this healthy food, you're not allowing your body to absorb the food or to digest the old undigested meals and to process and absorb and metabolize, right? Because a lot of us are wound up in stress. So when we're doing some workshops and some support around rest, some of these things are so basic. These are some lifestyle practices and habits that have so much leverage, go a long way. But many of us are not really accessing it because it's too much stress. It's too much on the bandwidth at one time. So a lot of support and a lot of activity to be had, because I love to come together around an activity. So do feel free to sign up for the mailing list on Body-Culinary.com. If you're interested in reaching out to me, it's info@Body-Culinary.com. If you're not able to get on the calendar, I put a whole guide together, which is whole living foods in the hood with menus to fit your budget that is available for download. So if you want pictures, everything I can think of what I've been doing all of these years as a lifestyle, so I do not have to diet, focus around whole, fresh living fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, legumes, herbs, and spices, all there. Not rocket science, all fresh, not processed. No TVP, no tofu, sustainable with sample budgets, what you can get, and ideas for what you can prepare. Just some sample ideas, sample menus. You can flip it, whatever your seasonings or your spices. But I'm just sharing with you what I've been doing, shopping from the wholesaler, the food co-op, the bulk bins inside the health food store, and this has been sustainable for years. As well as natural beauty, no products, only food. Is food that I've been putting, literally fruits and vegetables, on my face, on my skin to clear up all that cystic acne, more so than any product. So that's all available to you on Body-Culinary. Let me know what you think of these little nuggets. Do you find it valuable? too mature, too seasoned for nuggets, too young, you think that's whack, you see any common sense in it, let me know. So feel free to like, you can comment respectfully at any time, and give me a holler. And I look forward to seeing you over in the cocoon in the wee hours. See you soon.